Hi, everyone. Welcome. Thank you for joining in on the Music Crew Virtual Conference 2025. My name is Erin O'Neill, and this session is called Too Cool for School Engaging Upper Elementary Students. So, before we get started, a little bit about me. I just finished my 24th year of teaching general music. I live in Northern Virginia and teach K through 6 with the 5th and 6th grade choir. So, let's jump in. So today's session is going to focus on grades 4 through 6, which a lot of times are the most difficult to engage and to find those things that really get them excited. In kindergarten, everything we do is golden, and then they slowly get older, and it's sometimes a struggle to find something that the older kids like to do. So at the end of today, you're going to have 10 singing games and 4 rhythm games, and hopefully you'll have a few that you can implement next year. Okay, so for the singing games, we're going to break them down into 4th grade, 5th grade, and 6th grade. Now, this does not mean you have to teach these singing games in this order or in these grade levels, especially if you don't teach one of those grade levels. Feel free to mix it around. The reason I do this like this is because I feel like it's really important to save some of these activities for the older grades, like 5th and 6th grade. There are certain games in 6th grade that I absolutely will not teach earlier than that because 6th grade, something happens between 5th and 6th grade to the kids. They mature a lot and they are just really social with each other, but not really excited to do anything in school sometimes. So you have to really save some of these fun activities so that when you get to 6th grade, or in some cases 5th grade, whatever your oldest grade is in the school, so when they get there, they have something new and exciting that doesn't feel too babyish because they've done it in a previous year. So we're going to get started with 4th grade. Okay, 4th grade. Here are some of the songs and games that I do that have been tried and true, and really the kids love them and ask for them all the time. Some of you may have heard of before. Some of them might be new. Some of them you may know, but you know a different game. So it's kind of fun to learn a new activity with a song that you already know. So in this order, we'll go Obo Totten, Farmer's Dairy Key, Black Snake, Hogs in the Cornfield, and Hilo Chickalo. Again, I'm going to say this continually, but you don't have to teach these in 4th grade, right? These are just the ones that I personally do. A lot of it's based on the appropriateness of the song, and a lot of it's based on what melodic and rhythmic concepts I'm teaching that year. I kind of want to save some of these songs so that I can integrate some literacy. Okay, Opushinatentaten. I love this song. As far as I know, this is nonsense syllables. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I've always known it as nonsense. It goes like this. Oboshinaten nay nay, I am boom boom boom. Eeny meeny yatten totten, oboshinaten, boom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So let me explain the game. And there is actually another game or another song later in 5th grade that has the same game. So you will see it in action. I took a video of my kids, but I didn't take a video of this particular song, but it is the same game. So basically, you stand in a circle, and the kids, it's kind of like down in the banks at the hanky panky or whatever it's called. Down by the banks, I think is what it's called. So I'm trying to get in the frame here, but you hold your hands with your palms facing the ceiling, and then your right palm is on top of your neighbor. So that means your left palm's on the bottom, right? And you basically pass the clap around like that to the beat. So oh, whoa, and it goes around the song, right? So when you get to 5, whoever gets clapped on 5 is out and goes to the middle of the circle. Now, you are allowed to move your hand away on 5. So therefore, if you don't get hit on 5, the other person is out, right? The only caveat I say is you have to, it's only on 5 that you can pull away. So if you see it coming and, oh, it's going to be me, it's going to be me, here it comes, and oopsies, you're 4, you're out. And the cool thing about this game is that once you're out, you're not really out. You go to the middle of the circle. And once there are 3 people with you, then we can start a middle circle. So really, everyone is continually playing. And it's kind of like a little competitive thing, but it's not too bad because you still get to play. And then when in the middle circle, if someone gets out, then they stand inside the tiny little circle. But then once someone else gets out, they come back to the middle circle. If that makes any sense. You'll see that in when I teach the next one in 5th grade. So some literacy connections. I use this for syncopation and Lola and Lo So, depending on what order you teach Lola and Lo So. And I always teach Lola first. So this is a Lo So song. But really, I don't even teach this in 3rd grade when I teach low so. I save this for syncopation, and then we review low so when we learn it. Super fun game. My kids love it. Let's move on. Okay, Farmer's Dairy Key. I love the song. I love it because it's fun, but also it's a sitting game and it's relatively calm and quiet, right? So, like Obo Shinatan and some of the other games you're going to see are really high energy and the kids get excited and kind of get a little loud. But this one, if you're just wanting to, like, can we just calm down and be quiet? This is a great one to do. So it goes like this. I lost the farmer's dairy key. I'm in some lady's garden. Do let me out. I'm in some lady's garden. And I teach this in fourth grade for high do. And it's perfect because it's let me out. So we do a lot of things like finding the high note and whatever else, but I'm not here to teach about that. But that is what we use this game for. So if you've ever played Closet Key, this is the same game. So basically you can see in the circle, the kid that circled in red, I'm seeing it in the picture, sorry, in the picture, the kid that circled in red is the guesser, right? He or she can keep their eyes open and they're going to watch the hider who is circled in blue in this picture. They're going to watch the hider as they go around. So the hider pretends to put the key, I usually just use my classroom key, behind everyone's back in their hands. Everyone sits with their hands behind their back. And they do actually drop it somewhere. They only have the length of the song to drop the key somewhere. And then at the end, the guesser has 3 guesses to find out where the key is, right? And if they don't get it, oh, okay, show them who had it, no big deal. And then the way I rotate, which is kind of nice because then I don't have to constantly pick people, is the person who just got the key becomes the new hider. The hider then becomes the new guesser, and the guesser goes back to the circle. So there's never a question. It's just boom, boom, boom. That's an easy way to rotate through, and then you don't have to worry about, well, I've never been the guesser. Well, I've never been the hider. So it just kind of rotates through. So the next slide is going to show a little example of this. Now, this next slide is actually a 5th grade class playing it. And that's only because that's the day I decided to record. and I do play this in 5th grade and sometimes even in 6th grade. I just introduce it in 4th grade. So you'll see the next slide, a little example of some 5th grade students. Ready, sing.
I lost the farmer's dairy key. I'm in some lady's garden. Do let me out. I'm in some lady's garden. Everyone look into his soul. Flint and steel. Coming in.
Choose quickly.
Chicken jockey.
Nolan. 5, 4, 3, 2. Is that your third guess? Oh, Kayla. Sumi's in the middle. Kayla, go start somewhere with Alex. Ready, sing. Is everybody singing?
Look at her like you hiding your
Five, 4, 3. Show her who had it. Show her. Oh, Luca. Black Snake is another one I teach in 4th grade. This one is also a syncopation game. That is the reason I teach this game. So it goes like this. And I know so many different versions and variations of this song. So, this might be a new one for you. This is just the one that I happen to use. Black snake, where are you hiding? Black snake, where are you hiding? Black snake, where are you hiding? Psst, don't you bite me. Again, I use it for syncopation. If I taught 8th rest, which I don't typically do, this would be a great one for 8th rest as well. So this is how this game works. You sit in a circle and you put your hands overhand grip on a huge piece of elastic. I just got one from a hobby store somewhere years ago, and I actually got 2 pieces of elastic and I sewed them together, just put a couple stitches in it with a bead on it. You have to have a bead. And so what you do is you sit in the circle and you have your overhand grip on this elastic, and someone has the bead and you pass it. I usually pass it counterclockwise. You pass the bead around the circle, and whoever has it on the end loses, right? But the caveat is, I keep saying caveat. The cool thing is your eyes are closed the entire game. Okay. So the kids are sitting there with their eyes closed, singing the song and passing the bead around the circle. Now, the thing is, you have to actually put it in your neighbor's hand because sometimes they won't, know it's there. They won't feel it. So when the song ends, if it's in between you and your neighbor, you are responsible for it because you did not put it all the way into their hand. So you pass it around, you pass around. Of course, when you're out, they don't know it sometimes. I mean, sometimes they do. But the reason they know it is because I'm going to tap them on the shoulder. I say, when I tap you on the shoulder, you are allowed to open your eyes. And then you go stand behind the person you think will win the entire game. And then we keep playing. So, but everyone else's eyes are closed the entire time. And then I say, if you feel like there's some space in between and you're searching, your eyes are closed and you're searching for the next hand, you are allowed to move your body, but only when you have the bead. I learned a little while ago, a couple of years ago, that people would be sneaky and they knew that there was a spot, and they would kind of scooch over so that the person next to them had farther to go. I was like, mm-mm-mm. You have to have the bead in order to move over. So if you feel, you got to keep your eyes closed, but you can kind of scooch over until you find that next person. And this game is so fun because when there's like only a few people left, they're like trying to get the bead moved for, and they don't see it because their eyes are closed and everyone else is having a great time watching. So super fun game. You do need to buy some elastic and a bead and put a couple stitches in there, but this is a really fun one. Hogs in the Cornfield is a huge hit. I teach this for Hido, and it's kind of a crazy game, so we only do it for a few minutes, but they love it. So it goes like this: Hogs in the cornfield, cows in the clover, tell your sister Kate we're coming over. I also teach it, so it's like a review for Ticketee. So every once in a while, I might teach it at the end of third grade when we're learning Ticketee, but typically I save it for Hido. And again, but I'm not teaching about literacy today, but that Hido's in a perfect spot to teach to extract that little measure and teach Hido. So anyway, here's how the game plays. It's a standing and you have a partner. And I used to teach this where everyone had a partner and they would stand across. It's a tug of war game, and they would stand across a huge long line. And it just became too crazy. People would fall, they'd run into other people would get hurt, and some people just don't really want to play this game, because it's a tug of war game and they don't feel comfortable with that. So I don't make them play. So lately, the last couple of years, what I've done is I've chosen like 3 or 4 people and I say choose a competitor, someone that you want to, you know, pull be competing, and that's usually a great way to do it because they're going to pick someone who is at the same level strength wise and whatever. So they stand across a line in my room. Usually it's my line that I have them line up on. I just have them stand across and we all sing the song. And at the end of the song, they grab right hands and they try to pull each other over the line. So once you get pulled over, you lose and I choose new people. Super fun game. You can easily do this for like 3 minutes if you want at the end of the game or at the end of the lesson. Or you can do it for longer than that, depending on how much the kids are enjoying it. But they really like this one. Okay, our last one in 4th grade is Hilo Chickalo, and actually, I do teach this one in 3rd grade, but 4th grade still loves it, and, so I always just, again, it's one of those things that you can bring out if they're getting kinda squirrely or if it's the end of the lesson, you have a few minutes left. It's a really great one that only takes a few minutes, or you can extend it into longer. So it goes like this. High-low, chickalow, 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 high-low, chickalow, chickalow, high. And I teach this in 3rd grade because it's perfect for low so, and I also teach it on recorder for low D. So this is the way you play. It's standing pairs and you're scattered around the room. It's a hand clapping game. So you stand with your own palms like this, and then your neighbor's hands are like this. So the backs of your palms are facing each other or are touching. I actually do have a video on the next page. So I'll show you in a minute. So what you do is on the word high, you take your outside hand. Now, granted, this one is still back to back with your neighbor. So it's high above the hands, low below the hands. Chick is your own hands. Let me see if I can get in the frame. So it goes like this. High, low, chickalow, chickalow, chickalow. High, low, chickalow, chickalow, high. And so you can just keep it like that and keep it as a hand clapping game and let them do it on their own, practice it with your buddy. Let's try it all together. Great, come back to your seats. Or you can make it a little competition. So everyone, same tempo, we all do it together. If you make a mistake, you or your buddy make a mistake, you're out and you have to sit down. And then the next time we sing it, it's a little bit faster. If you make a mistake, you sit down a little bit faster until it's like high, low, chicka, low, chicka. And so it's super fun. The kids love it. I see them practicing this at recess, at lunch, to like get ready to like win the competition or whatever. But again, you don't have to do the competition. It's just it's really fun like that. So the next slide you'll see actually my daughter is on the left, I think, and my neighbor who happens to be a student of mine at my school, and they're playing it. So here we go. Ready, go.
I love Chickalo, Chickalo, Chickalo. I love Chickalo, Chickalo, hi.
Okay, a little faster. Here's our beat. High, low, chickalo, 1, 2, ready, go.
I love Chickalo, Chickalo, Chickalo. I love Chickalo, Chickalo, hi.
All right, a little faster. High, low, chickalo, 1, 2, ready, go.
I love Chickalo, Chickalo, Chickalo. I love Chickalo, Chickalo, hi.
Yay. Okay, on to fifth grade. Now, you'll see fifth grade and sixth grade are fewer songs. It's because I still do the fourth grade songs in fifth grade, just not as much. And I save these for fifth grade. So Big Fat Biscuit, Stella Ella, and Sarah Sponda. So let's get started. Starting off strong in fifth grade with Big Fat Biscuit. The song goes like this. Big fat biscuit, chew baloo. Just from the oven, chew baloo. Boy, jump over yonder, chew baloo. So I use this game to teach dotted quarter eighth, and you can see that little chew baloo is a perfect little extractable pattern that you can sing with the rhythm tom ti ta. You can also use it for Lola, even though there is a low so, it's perfect because that do la do keeps repeating, so you can just kind of ignore the low so if you want to. But yeah, so Tom T, dotted quarter eighth. The game goes like this: three students line up, and they are behind a line, and they each time we sing "Choo Baloo," one person jumps as far as they can. And then the next chubaloo, next person jumps, and then the third chubaloo, the third person jumps. Now they have to take off from 2 feet and they have to land on 2 feet. So there's a lot of what ifs. You know, what if you touch the ground and to catch yourself? You're disqualified. What if you fall down? You're disqualified. What if you take a large step to catch yourself? Disqualified. You can take a little step as long as one foot didn't move at all. We will measure from the toe of the back foot. All these game instructions are in the handouts, so I'm not going to take any more time to do it, but this is a super fun game. The next one in the fifth grade category is Stella Ella. This is a great song for high do, and if you teach eighth res, great one for that too. It goes like this: Stella Lola, quack quack quack, singing S tiga 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 shuck shuck, S tiga tiga follow 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 1 2 3 4 5. And the game is just like Obo Shanatantaten, so I'm not going to explain it again, but you can watch the video of my fifth graders singing it on the next page. Enjoy.
Stella Ella Ola, quack quack quack, singing S tiga 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 shack shack, S tiga tiga follow 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 1 2 3 4 5. Stella Ella Ola, quack quack quack, singing S tiga 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 shack shack, S tiga tiga follow 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 1 2 3 4
Oh, not on board, Blake. Not on board. Come on. Don't forget to sing, please. Okay, that's good.
Okay, the last one in fifth grade is called Sarah Sponda. Again, I have seen a lot of different games for this one. I honestly don't remember where I learned this one, but it's a rhythm stick game, which is super fun. It could also be a hand clapping game and or maybe a passing game, but I like this particular game because it's with a buddy, it's with rhythm sticks, and it's a good challenge for fifth grade because you get to toss the sticks. So I do not have rhythm sticks at home. I'm going to demonstrate with some pens, but the next slide will show an example with actually wooden spoons because I didn't have rhythm sticks at home for this either. So Here we go. The song goes like this. Sarah Spanda, Sarah Spanda, Sarah Spanda, red set set. Sarah Spanda, Sarah Spanda, Sarah Spanda, red set set. Adore-yo, adore boom deo, adore boom de red set set. Ase paseo, Sarah Spanda, Sarah Spanda, Sarah Spanda, red set set. Sarah Spanda, Sarah Spanda, Sarah Spanda, red set set. So it's a nice ABA form song. You can also teach that. I teach it for fa. Spanda red set set or Sarah Spanda red set set. It's perfect for fa. You could also teach high do because even though it does have fa, that little high do is a perfect little extractable pattern. So here come the sticks. So you sit facing a buddy. You each have 2 sticks. So I'm going to teach it the way I teach it. So it's down, down, down. I mean like hit the ground, like hit the ground. Down, down, tap right, tap left, red set set. Down, down, tap right, tap left, red set set. And this is like a crossbody thing. Then on the B section, you get to toss your stick. So it's on the high do. Do, and you're tossing diagonally with your right stick. So the buddies are both doing their right. Do-re-o, boom deo. Left hand. Now comes the fun part. You toss both sticks. I say choose which you're either going to go inside or like outside, because if you both go inside, the sticks are going to hit each other and they're going to fall. So they decide this beforehand and they practice. But so on the where am I? Adore boom de red set set. Ase paseo. Okay. I say if you have your sticks on the red set set, you can tap. Otherwise, skip it because we've moved on. The music has moved on. You're going to miss it. So that whole B section, let me just demonstrate with the singing. Adore-o, adore boom deo, adore boom de red set set, ase paseo. And then the song repeats with the A section. So the next slide has a demonstration of myself and my neighbor girl who was a rising 6th grader. So she did this one last year. So enjoy. Sarah Spanda, Sarah Spanda, Sarah Spanda, red set set. Sarah Spanda, Sarah Spanda, Sarah Spanda, red set set. Adore-o, adore boom deo, adore boom de red set set. Ase paseo. Sarah Spanda, Sarah Spanda, Sarah Spanda, red set set. Sarah Spanda, Sarah Spanda, Sarah Spanda, red set set. Okay, 6th grade. Whew, they are a beast of their own, are they not? There are years where I love teaching 6th grade, and there are years where I'm like, oh my gosh, are we done with you yet? So these 2 songs I will not teach before 6th grade because, like I said, something happens between those 5th and 6th grade years that they change and they need something fresh and something new. And these 2 are chef's kiss. I love them so much. So even though I know 5th grade would love these songs too, and they're perfectly capable of singing them, I will not teach them before 6th grade. However, if you don't teach 6th grade, then 100% you can do these in 5th grade. So Ye Tup Daram and El Foron. We'll start with Ye Tup Daram. It is, as far as I know, an Iranian folk song, and it's sung in a Afghani version of or dialect of Farsi. So it goes like this. Ye tup daram, ye tup daram, ye tup daram, ye tup daram, yekto se Lulu Bele. So basically what you're saying is, I have the ball. 1, 2, 3, roll it away. And then this next part is technically part of the song. I tried teaching it once because you'll see in a minute why it doesn't work, but they're so involved in the game at this part that they just never sang it. So I was like, all right, well, we're just not going to do it. It goes, gel, gel, galia, lia, lu, bede, gel, gel, galia, lia, lu, bede. And it repeats as you're playing the game. So again, I tried. They never did, and I got sick of saying, "Don't forget to sing." Is everybody singing? I was just like, well, we'll just have the game part. So this is a sitting circle, and there are 2 tennis balls that you're passing to the beat around the circle. So yeah, you pass those 2 circles or the 2 tennis balls around the circle. Then at the end of the game, yep, do say I point to someone, I choose someone to come to the middle. And now it becomes a game where you have to roll the tennis ball on the ground to try to hit the person's feet in the middle. Of course, they can dodge it, they can jump, they can run around in the middle of the circle as much as they want. But after we've hit their feet, or their shoes, I guess, 3 times, then they're out and they have to go back to the circle. It does not count if the ball bounces or if you throw it. So you can't throw it, you can't bounce it, it has to roll. And the kids love it. But as you can imagine, Gel, gel, galia, they're not singing. They're like, oh, number one, we got him. Hey, go. So they're cheering and everything. So I just kind of gave up on that part of the song, even though it's a really cool part of the song. It just didn't work for me in my classroom. So maybe it will for you. Give it a try. They love this one. I saved the best for last. El Floron. I love this game. Actually, I get kind of sick of it because last year I had 3 6th grade classes and they love it so much that literally they want to play it every single day. So a little about my reward system. I do like K through 5 earns a game day after they move so many times up the little barred instrument chart on the wall, right? And when they get to the tippy top, they earn a game day. Well, game day is they get to choose what games they play. They take a vote, and the whole day or the whole lesson is game day. Now, I don't find this as a waste of time because they're singing. They're playing singing games that we already did. I sometimes that can be like, "Ooh, I have a new game for you," which is what I was going to teach anyway, and then didn't get to because they have a game day. But in 6th grade, I don't do game days as much because the games are not included in the lessons as much as they're not as integrated with the lessons as they are from K through 5. So 6th grade, we're doing a lot of projects. We're doing a lot of instrumental work. We're doing a lot of different things in what we're doing in K5. So I say at the end of every class, our classes are an hour long once a week. At the end of every class, as long as all goes well, you're working hard, I don't have to stop and say, whatever. I have a list of things, but as long as everything goes well, you will earn 10 minutes of game time and you get to choose what game we play or games. And they always choose El Floron without fail. And by the end of the year, I'm like, really? Is there anything else you want to play? Because Miss O'Neill is really sick of El Floron, but they do love it. So it goes like this. El Floron pasó por aquí, yo no lo vi, yo no lo vi. El Floron pasó por aquí, yo no lo vi, yo no lo vi. Que pase, que pase, que pase el Floron. Que pase, que pase, que pase el Floron. And it's all about the flower. The flower passes through. Do you see it? I have the, so the translation is on the handouts. You can go there and find it. I actually, again, don't teach this for any kind of literacy connection, although you could. And I listed them up here, 6, 8, fa, whatever. I just teach it because it's a great song. The kids love it. The game is super fun. And if whatever game it takes to get my 6th graders singing, I am playing it. Really, 6th grade, the beginning of the year, they really don't care if they're singing or not. They will because they're used to it. But at the end of the year, they're like, we're done with singing. So, but if they will sing this, 100% we will play it every single class. So the game works, and I do have a video of this one. The game, they're standing in a circle. And I have this yarn ball that I got at an Orff Schulwerk conference a long time ago. Now, admittedly, it is shrinking because as they grab it from someone, the yarn falls out. But anyway, so we pass the yarn ball around to the beat as well as we can. Obviously, I'm not going to be too strict on the beat, but as well as we can, pass it around to the beat. And at the end, que pase el Floron. If the ball is on you, you're out. Now, there is no dodging. It is not like the other games. If it lands on you, 'tis your fate, and you are out, and you sit down. Again, you're not really out. What you get to do is now you get to try to bat the ball out of the air as they're passing it over you. Okay? So, and you have to stay on your knees, though, because you can't just stand up, and it's not like guarding it like basketball. So you have to be on your knees, but you can try to catch it or bat it out of their hands. And if you do that, then the tosser is now out, and they sit down. Okay. And so the game continues until there's one person left, and it's super fun. It gets a little competitive, but oh my gosh, so much fun. This is why I saved it to the last. So we're going to watch a video on the next page of my 6th graders playing this. Enjoy. Ready, sing. El Floron
pasó por aquí, yo no lo vi, yo no lo vi. El Floron pasó por aquí, yo no lo vi, yo no lo vi. Que pase, que pase, que pase el Floron.
Don't squat.
Que passe, que passe, que passe el florón.
Oh, Ethan. Let's go a little faster. Ready, sing. El florón pasó por aquí. Yo no lo vi. El florón pasó por aquí. Que pase, que pase. Ready, sing. El florón pasó por aquí. August. Ready. Looks like it's Eldrick. Ready, sing. El florón pasó por aquí. El florón pasó por aquí. Oh, el florón. It's okay. Okay, so there are your singing games. Hopefully, you found some that were new or that you were excited about trying next year. Now, we're going to talk about some rhythm games. We have 4 rhythm games that I'm going to teach you today. We're going to talk about Poison, Stump the King, King of the Mountain, and Steal the Bacon. Okay, first up is Poison. This is actually not a game that I saved for 4th grade. I maybe have done it in 1st grade. 2nd grade, definitely. The kids love it. They never get sick of it. And you can also do it with solfege or melodic, whatever you use for melody. But here's how you play. You pick a rhythm or a pattern or whatever if you're doing a solfege, and that is your poisonous pattern. So, for example, if ticka ticka ta is your poisonous pattern, then whatever rhythm you say, if they echo the poisonous pattern, they're out and sit down. So basically the game plays like this. You stand up, I say a rhythm, students echo it back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. And if they, every once in a while, of course, I'm going to say the poisonous pattern. If they echo it or even start to echo like tick, you're out, sit down. Now, you'll find pretty quickly they get very good at this game. So I start to add a second poisonous pattern. Now there are 2. Now there are 3 poisonous pattern. And you can go real fast back and, and it's super fun. They're learning and getting a lot of this echoing and practice with rhythms or melodic concepts or whatever it is you're practicing with. And they love it. It's so fun. I've also seen people do this with visual. Well, not totally visual, but they write the pattern on the board, the poisonous pattern. I don't do that because I feel like it's a little harder to do all by orally practice it. So whatever you like to do, that's a real easy one. Again, if you can play it for 2 minutes and the kids love it, or you can extend it. You can have some of the kids be the leader, let them come up with the poisonous pattern and have them do the echoing. Super fun. Stump the King is next. Now, this is not a game that I save for my upper grades. I do think I've done it in 2nd grade before. Yeah, I've done it in 2nd grade before, but I don't do it that often. So by the time they still get to the upper grades, it's not like they are sick of it and they won't want to do it again. It is quite fun. So basically what you have is a king that usually sits on my teacher chair in the front with a little like foam crown with a paper clip. It's just like headband. So you put the little flashcard in there. And of course, they can't see it, but the rest of the class does. So the class claps or taps or whatever the rhythm. And then the king has to just like tell them what the rhythm is, what the rhythm syllables. Now, something that really helps is if you tell the students, try to think the syllables in your head as you're clapping it. It really helps. Like think the tas and titis as you're reading it and clapping it. That really helps. Again, you can differentiate really well. If there's someone who's really good at rhythm, give them a hard rhythm. If there's someone who's kind of struggling, give them an easier rhythm. But you can play this for like 2 people or you can play it with several. Super fun. Okay, King of the Mountain. This game takes a lot of explanation, but it's a great one for if you have a slightly smaller class. I have not done this any younger than 3rd grade, and honestly, I think 3rd grade was a bit too young. So I would save this for 4th grade, and I probably wouldn't do it for a bigger class than 20. So a lot of times in our school, we have the band and strings is pulled from a second special. For example, if they have 2 musics for a week for an hour, the second one they will go to band or strings. Or if they have 2 PEs or whatever, the second PE, they will go to band and strings. So a lot of times I'm left with a smaller class, anywhere from like 7 to 20 people. And as you can imagine, 7 kids for the entire year, for an entire hour once a week, it's difficult to find things to do, especially if you're not teaching anything new because the rest of the class is at band and you don't want them to miss the new concept. So this is a great one for that kind of an activity. So basically what you do is you sit in a circle like the little clip art people are, and they have this little tent of a rhythm in front of them. You can see it's the same on both sides. I don't know if it's showing up backwards for you, but it is for me. Anyway, they sit, and I do not laminate them because I feel like when you laminate, it gets harder to stand up and it slips on the floor. So I actually keep it like this. And I've had the same set for several years and they are still fine on cardstock, not laminated. So basically, there is a king who you can see in the little picture here has the crown. And the king starts the rhythm. So that he's going to say, or he or she, I'm going to say he in this case, he's going to say his own rhythm, and then he's going to immediately say someone else's rhythm. It can be anyone, doesn't have to be right next to him. So for example, what does his rhythm say? Ticka ticka tee 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 ta 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 ticka ticka ta. So then the kid in the little green shirt over there that has the ta ta ticka ticka ta rhythm has to say his own card and then someone else's card. So you're passing the rhythm around and around and around. Now, here's where so you could just play it like that. Don't even have a king. Just play it like that, where you're passing around. Great rhythm, great individual if you want to assess kids. Definitely make sure they know the rhythms really well because this is putting them on the spotlight and it does add a little pressure because if you mess up, you're out. So let's talk about that. So the reason it's called King of the Mountain is because your goal is to be the king, right? So you want to work your way up the circle to be the king. So here's how you do it. If you mess up, you're out, and then you go to the dungeon, and everyone behind you moves up a card. Okay, cards don't travel. You're going to have a new card every time you move. Now, to make the dungeon a little bit more interesting and not so like, oh, I'm out, I'm terrible at rhythm, I put my little mouse in there. His name is Ferdinand, and he gets like, oh, well, you're in the dungeon, but hey, guess what? You get to keep Ferdinand company now. So, and they love that. They think it's really funny. They think he's cute. Like, it's not so much of a, man, I'm out. I suck at rhythms or whatever. But it's, like it's really fun to sit in the dungeon. Sometimes it's too fun and I have to take Ferdinand away. But anyway, so here's what some of the mistakes consist of. If you forget to say your own card first, you're out. If we're like, hello, it's your turn, you're out. If you obviously say the rhythm incorrectly, you're out. If you have to restart more than once. So sometimes people are like, wait a minute. Ticka ticka ta, that's okay, right? But it's this where it's TT. No, is it ta? Wait, no, it is T. It's TT ticket. Wait, TT. You're out. Okay, you really got to be ready to say it and not fluster and all that stuff. So I do give the time to practice saying your own card and choose someone else's card. Like you have them in mind now. Practice those two cards back to back without stopping. Now choose someone else's. I give them about a minute to do that so that they're not like panicked when it's their turn. This game does take a while to explain, but once you've done it, I find that it's really fun and it can last. Like I usually like save about 15-20 minutes for this game because it does take a long time to explain. But then once you know it, you can do a quick 5-minute game. And the only bad thing about this game is that there might be a time when not like someone doesn't ever get to say a card, depending on how big the class is. That's why I like to do it with slightly smaller classes to make sure that everyone gets a turn. The thing you can do away with that is that the very first practice round, you can say, okay, today we're just going to do one round. After you've done, flip your card over so no one else can say it. That way, it's guaranteed that everyone will get a turn. But otherwise, I really like this game. It's great for rhythm practice, and the kids really like it. Okay, best for last, Steal the Bacon. Oh, I love this game. So Steal the Bacon, you have a ton of cards. There's probably like, in my classroom, I think I have like 40 cards, flashcards all over the room. And there's 2 teams lined up on opposite sides of my big carpets, basically. And then there's a chair on this side and a chair on this side. All the people in line, the 2 teams, are given a number. So like, I don't know, Johnny is number 1 and Timmy is number 1. And then Jesse is number 2 and I don't know, Alice is number 2. So everyone has a 1 through whatever number down the line. Then the teacher says a rhythm and then says a number. I never go in order, so they never know like when their turn is going to be. And if that is your number, you have to race your opponent to find the correct rhythm. When you do, you have to race to a chair to sit down. Now, either chair is fine. I do that so that they can't like puppy guard the chair. So either chair is fine. And the only thing is if you like my opponent finds the card, I can tag them. And if I tag them before they sit down in the chair, my team gets a point. However, if that person gets the card and sits down before I tag them, their team gets the point. Okay. This is hilarious because there are some times where the kids find the card at the same time and then they start to like kick it and like throw it up in the air and like, and like trick each other with picking up the wrong card. And it's so fun. Again, save some time for this game because you want to make sure everyone has a turn. So if you've got a big class, I typically don't play with huge classes. This is another one of those I play with like 25 or fewer classes or students. Because I don't want them to be bored and just watching. I want to make sure everyone has a turn and everyone's engaged. I also make a rule that they're not allowed to help their team at all. You can't say, I see it, follow my eyes. How can you not see it? It's right in front of you. So they're not allowed to do that. It's all up to the people who are actually looking for the card. So this one is super fun also. And all three of these games, the last three, Stump the King, King the Mountain, and Steal the Bacon, I do have the 16th note set available in my store if you want to grab those. They're in stick notation and standard notation. Super fun, great ways to practice rhythm. And the kids love it. So that is the end of our session today. While this is not live, I am here today. So if you have any questions, you can pop them down in the chat. I hope you got something that you're going to use next year that makes you excited to teach your upper grades, even though I know they can be a little challenging sometimes. And if you have any questions, just let me know. You can also email me at info@aaronsmusicroom.com. Check in tomorrow. I'm also teaching a session or running a session called A to Z with So and Me. And I'm going to step through the whole process of how I teach So Me from very beginning. They don't even know high low to where they are reading So Me on the staff in different keys. So that's tomorrow. And I hope you guys have a great rest of the conference. See you soon. Bye.